A few days ago, the brand new Minecraft 1.14 snapshot 19W03A was released, and with it came a brand new block, some changes to campfires, and changes to the game overall. As most snapshots have continued to bring some pleasant surprises to the game, much like the new blocks and their added functionalities, it's not shocking to see that items are still continuing to come out. With these new items, we've seen that Minecraft has certainly been changing, and we've enjoyed exploring every nook and cranny of all of their functionality. From the lectern's redstone, to the blast furnace's speed, to mapping out the cartography table, we've figured out these blocks' functionality, well, at least with the ones that we're aware of so far. But that's not to say that every single item is a hit and is exempt from criticism. In this video, we're going to discuss the 19W03A snapshot with what we like, what we don't like, and so on and so forth. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. In the brand new snapshot, a much needed change to the game was added to campfires. First off, the model was completely changed, and honestly, this is a wonderful addition. After staring at the fire for a few seconds, you'll also notice that embers will fly off of the fire in random directions occasionally. This one's a really nice touch, as they'll hit the ground and just fizzle out. Also, the log has a nice little burning animation on the bottoms. It's kinda nice. When you look at the item in your inventory, you'll also notice that it's no longer animated and is flat. While I don't know that it should be animated in your inventory, I do think that having it as a block like the rest of the new items would be nice, but seeing as the bell and the lantern are also flat, I can see why Mojang made this decision. Ultimately, no big deal. Food can still be placed on the fire, however, and instead of being placed on the 4 cardinal directions, they're now placed on each corner, as you can see here. Cooking still works the same way as well. Additionally, and this is a change that I really support, campfires now give off a light level of 15 in comparison to the light level of 9 that they gave off previously. And if I'm speaking honestly here, this campfire texture and animation fits in way more with the aesthetic that the game seems to be going for now. Where the last fire just kind of looked like a slab, this unique design of logs sitting on top of each other seems like it won't go unappreciated by the community. Putting out the fire is still a bit of a pain, but we're certainly making nice steps. On top of the fire being changed, other small changes were added to other blocks. The barrel, grindstone, berry bush, crops, netherwort, blast furnace, and smokers now have brand new sounds to go along with their items. Minor things, but definitely worth the mention. The expected bug features were also added in with this snapshot. So now, on to the downside of this snapshot. Looking at the brand new snapshot, many players were pretty excited. For an extremely long time, the community has begged for an item that lets us farm bone meal, but in a way that doesn't require us to find temples or mansions, make us go fishing, or fight skeletons. If you're playing in peaceful mode, besides fighting, those are really your only options, aside from finding fossils or finding a dungeon or a mine shaft. If you want to stay above the ground, you're kinda screwed in regards to finding bone meal. Years after the countless requests, a composter was added into Minecraft. Being crafted with 3 wood planks and 4 fences, it looks a little similar to what you would see in real life. Right now, the item has some basic functionality. Utilizing a very large selection of items, you can get bone meal from the composter. Sounds good, right? Well, honestly, I'm not a fan. In its current state, it's kind of garbage, trash. And no, that wasn't for the pun. It's just ironic that those are synonyms that not only define its functionality, but also define how useful this block is. It is almost truly useless. Well, sure, yes, you can get bone meal from it. The process is literally randomized. Looking at the list, you'll see that certain items have a higher chance of producing a difference in the compost. That much is fine, but looking at it the way that they're sorted, that's what's not okay. The composter's biggest problem is that items have a chance of adding up to an eighth of what you need, but they regularly don't. Sometimes you'll need under 64 leaves to fill the composter to the top, but other times you need over 3 stacks. It doesn't make any sense. Certain items have a 10, 20, 50, 80, or 100% chance of quote-unquote adding to the compost. Items like leaves have a 10% chance, while items like cake and pumpkin pie have a 100% chance. Again, that doesn't mean it'll fill it up 100%. That means it'll fill up the composter a little bit more, one step at a time. Using cake as an example, placing 8 cakes in the composter will fill the compost bin all the way to the top every time. The result though? A single piece of bone meal. That's right, 1. For as many items as you put in, it's just ridiculous. I get that it's essentially your garbage bin. I mean, it's literally for compost, but 8 cakes for 1 bone meal? It just doesn't make any sense. Wheat seeds have a 10% chance. Wheat itself has 50. Hay bale, 80. Why would I waste at least 72 wheat in the form of hay bales when I could waste 72 seeds? Or better yet, less wheat on its own because the chance for wheat is 50%. The math literally doesn't add up. At its worst, I used 17 hay bales at a compost bin. That's 153 wheat for 1 bone meal. Sure, there's a massive amount of items that you can use, but it either takes way too long or they're too risky to throw in. The risk and reward makes it arguably useless whenever you have so much to lose for a single piece of bone meal. I would rather kill a skeleton and get 3 bone meal instead of doing this. It does have some nice qualities, but it's not enough to redeem itself. Its texture is genuinely nice. Putting a trapdoor on it makes it a nice trash bin. On top of that, it does have hopper support. Put items in at the top, get bone meal out at the bottom. You can also use a comparator with it, with the comparator going up to 8 redstone signals, 1 length for every level of compost, and that's about where the positive things for the compost bin stop. Looking on the website and seeing the image, it makes you think that it has more uses because they put it in the middle of a farm. But looking everywhere, everything that I already mentioned is all that it has. But let's not give up hope just yet. Okay, so right here, I'm going to give Mojang the benefit of the doubt. I can see some potential in this item. I can see it being used in villages. I can see it being nice for excess farming. I can see it being a nice addition overall, and as well, I can even see it not being currently finished. Because of the way that these updates have gone, maybe we're just testing the waters, testing functionalities. It does seem like this may be the final product because none of the other blocks, aside from the loom, came out with any functionality right out of the gate. If this is the final product for this block, I'm not a fan. I don't think RNG is the way to do it. Wasting items that can have a real use later on for a single piece of bone meal seems weird and ironically counterproductive. The nice thing about composting in real life is everything adds up. In Minecraft, it only adds up sometimes. Like, what? Alright though, I'm not just gonna sit here and complain all day. Let's talk about how we can fix it. First off, let's ditch bone meal and let's make fertilizer an item. It's the exact same use, just a different texture and name. If you place a compost bin in a farm, make the block grow the crops that are surrounding the compost bin grow quicker, but the compost bin will slowly go down as time goes on. Next, ditch the RNG, make a point system. Certain items have certain point values, everything adds up, even if it's just a little bit. If the item needs a graphical user interface, so be it. It's gotta be better than right-clicking 64 times and hoping that you get the luck of the draw. If the items aren't additive and it's still going to be based on random number generation, just raise the percentages of chance. Like I said, 17 hay bales, 153 wheat for a single piece of bone meal. It just doesn't make any sense. Risk and reward in certain items just seems silly. The whole point of a composter should be that we're doing a good thing, not just throwing items away. If I put in 153 wheat, I want more than a single piece of bone meal. And while we're on the subject, maybe raise the amount of bone meal? 1 bone meal? That's nice. I'll grow my wheat a single step higher so I can throw it back in the bin and waste more wheat. Just give us incentive. Don't make it the easiest thing in the entire world, but right now, this is more than even just a chore. I'm probably not going to use it, and if I do, it's because my entire farm is automated and I'll have the items to waste, and I probably won't even care about the bone meal. At best, it just feels like a block to use as a last resort for getting bone meal, or a decoration. All in all, I do hope that this block's functionality is presently incomplete, and seeing the block with functionality right now is just sort of a misunderstanding of thinking that this is going to be its final form. But what do you think? Do you think the compost bin needs to be worked on, or do you think I'm being way too harsh? On a scale of 1 to 8, how trash is it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And yes, that was for the pun. But other than that, that just about does it for me for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it, because it would really help out myself and Michaelmcchill, who co-wrote and edited this video, the channel, and the video quite a lot. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.